I'm back, and this time I'm reviewing something that is not a train. Now if you're watching this, please go back and watch one of my animations, because I spent a lot more time and effort on those than I am right now. If I'm being completely honest, I'm just fanboying over these things that I got in the mail today. Anyways, this is the box the thing comes in. And normally I don't like it in reviews when they spend too much time talking about the box, so I'll keep this short. On the far left we got Thunderbird 1, which has sound and opening wings. Right of that is Thunderbird 3, which now has these grappling arms, which thankfully make Thunderbird 3 not as useless as it was in the original series. I really liked the design of the original one, but it only got used about twice. To the right of that is Thunderbird 2. It now has folding wings, a lowering pod, as you'd expect, and this one also has sound. Thunderbird 4, just on top of that, is, there. I'm ranting again, let's just go look at the models. Starting in the numerical order, we have the model of Thunderbird 5, and as you can see, they didn't make one. So, moving on.
4.
Yep, it is very, very small, but as you'd expect for something that fits into another aircraft, it is very, very well detailed despite its size. If you look right here, it actually has writing on it that the camera will not focus on. Unlike the original models, this one actually has a lot of detail and very, very, very fine paint, which the camera is having a very hard time focusing on because I can't seem to hold it still. The underside of Thunderbird 4 is also very well detailed. Even though you're not really supposed to see this because it's on the bottom, and if you put it right there, you don't see very much of it at all, they did manage to paint a lot of the windows on the bottom, which is again another nice feature of the new one. Now, since Thunderbird 4 is in fact a submarine and doesn't work very well on track, I'm going to test it using this glass of water. And there. Rest in peace, Gordon Tracy. Of the new designs, I have to say this is my favorite. By removing the little battering ram thing that it had with the lights on it, it made the whole design look a lot sleeker. They also have these little pods on the side on the new one that release these things called rescue boards, although they look kind of like coffins with little windows in them. As a matter of fact, I think that's kind of a dual purpose thing. If they, break one of the windows or something, they can just have a sea burial if they, can't rescue somebody. That's dark, I'm gonna move on.
3.
And here we have the mighty Thunderbird 3. From top to bottom of this model, the paintwork is very well done. Also, it clearly says warning jet blast, even though jet engines do not work in the vacuum of space. I guess it is very good that they are warning you, because they do end up launching a space rocket from inside of a building. So again, I think it's pretty important to keep people away from it. Also because it's kind of, secret. Unlike the original Thunderbird 3, this one actually has moving parts. Well, that didn't... Okay, I was holding it wrong. You're supposed to do it like that, and then they do that. Okay. Unlike the original one, though, this one actually has moving parts. The original one, if it wanted to rescue somebody, used this thing called the safety beam, which was never explained as to what it actually does. But it's very safe, and it is a beam. At the end of each of these tentacle things, there's actually another little gripper arm that extends outwards. Unfortunately, though, the end of the arm still doesn't reach past the nose, but still, it's the thought that counts. Another aspect of this model of Thunderbird 3 that I really liked was the fact that it actually has windows on it, which they don't really, do much because you can't see past the nose very well, but still, it is a very nice touch, and from the interior shots in the new series, it looks very good. Alright, since this model does have sound, let's hear what you have to say for us, Alan.
International Rescue, this is Thunderbird 3. Do you copy?
No, they don't. They're already dead.
2.
Okay, now this model is my favorite vehicle in the Gerry Anderson canon, but in 2015, so let's have a look at it. Now, unlike the later models in the 1990s, and the earlier dinky ones, it's entirely made out of plastic. There's almost no die cast on this thing at all. Despite that, though, the plastic they use for it is very good, and it feels very sturdy. The modern Thunderbird 2 also has little folding wings. On the nose of the craft are these little radio antennae, which are made of a slightly thicker plastic. There's also a little bit of paint there that represents something. Up on the cockpit windows, which this one hasn't been fully painted properly, if the camera will focus on it. The windows also have this little triangular shaped thing going on, which looks very interesting. The two on the top is actually connected to a button for the electronic sounds. There is a very, very noticeable seam right here that goes throughout most of the upper body work. It looks alright from most angles, but when you get to the red, it's very, very noticeable. The engine intakes are actually separately applied. This is actually a completely different piece of plastic from the outside, so it looks very nice. Towards the middle of the airship, we have two little buttons here, which are very cleverly disguised as part of the panel work. You also have another one on the back here that releases the pod. There's also a yellow stripe going all the way across the bodywork, and then a very short one on this end. This one was on the original one, this one wasn't. I think this one looks very nice and complements the other one very nicely. It also helps to define each end of the pod. Again, very nice paint decisions on this. They also have a little bit of white lining going around the top of the pod. Not sure what that's about, but it looks nice. At the rear spoiler, we have the two that we see in the intro to every episode ever. Warning jet blast, which I always thought these vehicles were nuclear. I don't know what happened to make these run off of jet fuel all of a sudden, but interesting. Alright, and then at the back of the spoiler we got these little thrusters. They're in the corner of each side, unlike the original, where all four of them are all across the middle. And it also has a little bit of a grill on it. Thankfully, this is painted and is not a sticker, unlike the original ones. As well as this, the engine mounts are very well made and do not come out as easily as the ones that pop up on eBay all the time. In very small font that the camera will not focus on, it does say International Rescue, which, again, I thought this was supposed to be secret, but okay. Well, I just noticed something. On Thunderbird 3, there was also this little mark right here. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but it's on Thunderbird 2 and 3, but I don't see it on Thunderbird 1 yet. Very strange. On the underside of Thunderbird 2 are a lot of screw holes and very poorly hidden legs. I guess that's okay because you don't really see the underside that much, and the legs kind of look like bits of piping or something. But the screw holes, come on. At least dull these down a little bit, but still. This model of Thunderbird 2, as you'd expect, does have deploying legs. See, they got that half, and then there we go. And then you just do that. And the wings, you gotta put the wings up. And the other one. Can't forget the other one. Come on. Come on. Oh, okay. It seems as though Thunderbird 2 is uncomfortable with its pod. Which pod vehicle is it going to be this week? Let's just... There we go. Oh, Again, rest in peace, Gordon Tracy. Yep, the door opens, and it becomes the ram. Then, there's no launching mechanism, so you just gotta do that. There we go, we now have a new pod machine. The, rail speeder thing. And here we have Thunderbird 1. This is actually the underside of Thunderbird 1, which has windows on it for some reason. There we go. This model of Thunderbird 1 has sound as well. That was Scott running the sync. Again, very nice recording. If we look at it horizontally, you'll notice that the sound is interrupting me. Anyways, the engine unit is actually tilted at a 45-degree angle to the rest of it. That's because in the new series it actually rotates, which gives us a little bit of an answer as to why it inexplicably turned around in the original series. I don't get that. Anyways, there we go. The wings open. Wings, you turn the engine nozzle. Which one is this? There we go. It doesn't seem to close all the way though, which is kind of annoying. Now, when sitting upright, it does look very good. When we sit it horizontally though, for horizontal landing, like it does in almost every episode that it's ever used in, it looks kind of like that one episode where it crash landed in the middle of the desert. The paint on this model is, again, very well done. I'm a big fan of the way they redid Thunderbird 1 and how they kept it very retro and original to the original series. I'm pretty happy with them, especially since, they're HO scale, almost.